What's up? It's your boy Mean Joe Green, aka Prince of the Ghetto. I want to talk about something Snoop Dogg said. He said he sold over 1 billion streams. And guess how much money he said he made off 1 billion streams? He said he didn't get nothing but $45,000 off 1 billion, not a million, 1 billion streams. And you wonder why the artists are complaining about their contracts. Most artists these days getting these 360 deal contracts, they looking like they not getting any money. And this is the reason why. The labels have now figured out how they can make all the money. Because back in the day when it was CDs, when you had to go buy CDs, independent artists were making all the money. Cause think about it, if you was an independent artist, you got your own independent label, and you come out with an album, and your album is in stores, and you selling your album for like $10 a copy. If you an independent artist and you only sell 5,000 copies, guess how much you made as an independent artist? You just made yourself $50,000. What if you would have sold 10,000 copies independently, CD? You just made $100,000 independently. If you sold 50,000 records independently, guess how much money you made? You made $500,000, $500,000. And the artists was doing it. Independent artists, that's how they were making money. And then they'll recycle, come out with another album, do that again. They make 50, 100,000. You just made $100,000 that you could put that money somewhere to make more money. But now they took the CDs away. Everything is getting streamed. You got to go online for everything, and this how they figure out how they could keep all the money. Artists are not big artists that y'all see big. They not really making money like talking about. They getting a lot of fame. Yes, you become famous, but your pockets really be broke because you not recouping enough money. Think about it. Let me show you how these artists is complaining, like Finesse 2 times, and so forth and so on. Why these artists is complaining? If you sign to an independent label, and that independent label is signed to a major label, when you come out with your album, the major label gonna get their money out top. And Lord, if it's a 360 deal, oh man. See, they give you an advance up front. And this advance is for you to record your album, pay producer, your studio time, probably give you somewhere to stay. That's what that money is for. So once you drop your album and spend that advance money, you got to pay that money back. Which is like revenue splits. And that 360 deal, once you just say you did a 360 deal, your album is not finished. Once you go do shows, merchandise, endorsement deal, any other money way you make, the label gonna get 20% up to 50% or whatever else you earn from not your album. It's all other stuff you doing. The label can get up to 50%, half or whatever else you make. Think about that now. And then the label, they want their recoupment, the money that they gave you up front. Oh, you got to pay that back. So let's just say you an artist and you really didn't blow big like they thought. You ain't gonna get no more money. See, once you sign a 360 deal, you really taking a chance. Because you might make it and you might not. Because if the labels them and then your independent label, if they don't make the money that they looking at, you not gonna get anything back for nothing. That's why it's really a gamble with artists these days. So just think about it like the Gucci and the Pooh Shiesty. Pooh Shiesty complaining about his contract. Okay, let's just say Pooh Shiesty dropped the album. The label, once the label get the majors get all their money, now they send the rest to Gucci. And Gucci probably be like, man, I gave him a $500,000 up front. I'm expecting at least make 1.5. If you ain't making him his money, then you ain't gonna get nothing else. Just say he probably just made an extra million. And Gucci probably looking like, well, I double it, but they just mine. He looking like, well, mine is. Because the artist looking like I'm doing all this work, I'm traveling, doing these shows, and where my money? And if that's all you make, your album don't do anymore, you don't get nothing as an artist. And that's why the artists be starving, they be mad and complaining. And think about this, money is full of greed. If you got a CEO that's greedy, let's just say that he like, man, he gonna say it's business. I gave you a $500,000. I want to at least, I want to at least make $3 million. If you ain't made his money, you not gonna get a dime. He looking at this business. I got to get mine. So the artist looking like, man, I ain't making no money, man. That's messed up. That's how an artist gonna look at it. Especially if he don't sell out, especially if he don't make the money become big and they satisfied with what they make. Now you got some artists, that they just become super big where they end up making some money off whatever they done did. But man, once I saw that what Snoop said when they got to this streaming, man, that's how they signing, man, it's crazy, man. Them 360 deals, man. Really, like Boosie said, once you get a 360 deal, man, it's really to put you out there. This how I would do it. I use that 360 deal to put myself out there and try to, get them out the way. Once you put yourself out there, now once you repay everybody, you a known name in the industry. Try to wiggle up out of that contract, man. Now you got a name. Now you can do your own thing. See, that's how Boosie doing. When Boosie go do shows, all that his money. See, Boosie been through that phase. See, what Finesse them don't understand, Boosie them had to go through that same thing. At the label, they not making no money. But once they got big, see, you become famous with no money. But once they got big and they got out their contract, now he can be independent and now he can make all his money. He go do shows, he ain't got to do a 360 deal with nobody. He ain't got his merchandise, the movies, everything he doing is 100% his. But how hard is you willing to grind to get to that level? You got to be a grinder. Because that first step, like what Finesse, he going through it right now. Because the label, they looking like, hey, you owe us this amount of money. They not making the money, so you signed under that. You just stuck. You would just be stuck like, damn, man, I want to get up out this contract. And we all see how humans is. Humans will be low down, I got to get mine. And the first thing they're going to say is, it's just business. I got to get mine, man. And that's where the artists and CEOs fall out at. Because that CEO probably didn't recoup and make what he thought he was going to make from that artist. And the artist can be upset and agitated like, damn, I'm not making nothing. Because the artist looking like, man, I'm traveling and doing all this, man, and I ain't making nothing. And that's how, and guess who win in the end? The label, the major. That's why they want to strip independence away. That's why they took them CDs and radio away. Because the artist was making more money out radio too. Royalties out radio. They don't care about you making a radio hit no more. Because the artist will make more money. See, streams, you can rap about it, talk about anything. And the label gonna get most of the money. And that's what's going on, man. So the signing to majors is not like how it used to be, like when Luda and T.I., all them signed to him, and had a better shot of becoming famous and rich. These days, you just famous You can get online, you famous, but you're gonna have to be more creative to make money other ways. Because that 360 contract, man, if you don't make that label their money, and if you sign to an artist under a major like a Gucci or Jay Prince, cause they signed the majors. And both of the first two parties don't get what they want. And you ain't making enough money for them to be satisfied. You not gonna make no money either. And that's what's going on with these labels right now. Unless you just got a good hearted CEO that's fair. And when it come to money, it's a 99% chance you ain't gonna meet a person that's fair. That's looking out for your well-being. People are greedy these days. The first thing they gonna say, I got to get mine. It's business. So that's what it is, man, with these 360 deals. 1 billion streams. And he only got $45,000. God damn. And now, like Spotify, they coming out with AI artists. You know, they just signed a woman AI artist for like $3 million. Her name is Zania Monet or something. And it's like now they want AI artists so they don't have to pay them no royalties or nothing. Once they get their upfront money, everything that they make is theirs. So that's why I say this AI, man, is really backfiring on the in the future. These artists, man, they finna be AI artists. And come to think of it, I might need to get into this AI shit. Cause I can write music and come up with my own AI artist and put it out there. But that's another story. I ain't gonna get into that. But I'm gonna look into that. That sound like a plan. But yeah, man, AI is taking over, man. And if they just use AI to make music, they ain't gonna need no regular artists. See, regular artists, they have to pay royalties. They have to get, they have to pay them back ends and all that. With AI artists, they don't have to do that. So, I mean, it's all about the money, man. And the labels, they done figured it out, man. How they can make all the money. Stripped away the CD, stripped away the independent hustle. And it's just, man, it's just sad, man, in the industry, man. But that's what's happening, man. That's why a lot of artists are not happy. They complaining about their contract because you got two greedy parties ahead of you. And when it come to money, you see, imagine if you sharing money with your friends, you're gonna be looking like, man, he just gonna get $2, man. We gonna split this 20. You gonna get 8, and he gonna get 8, and we just gonna get him 4. You know, when it come to money, man, greed come into play, and that's how human beings play it, man. And it always gonna be the artist that's unsatisfied thinking he getting fucked over. Which in reality, he probably is. But you signed that contract, so you gonna have to deal with it. Signing that contract put you out there though, but you not making no money. So you just have to figure out how you can wiggle out of that contract and so you can start making your own money. I wish I knew this back when I was rapping. See, when I was rapping back in the day, I had no idea of none of this. But as I got older, I started seeing different situations and reading more. Now I understand some how this music game go. And some independent artists, man, if you got you a fan base, let's say you got you about 50,000 followers on Instagram. Shit, fuck a label. You can just tell your followers, hey, my new album, y'all, hey, shoot me $3, man, for my new album, and I'll email it to you. Out of your 50,000 followers, if 5,000 of them fuck with you with $3, look what you made independently. There's a lot of ways you can really, try to figure out so you can make some money. By you doing it that way, if you got 50,000 or 100,000 followers, you would make more signed as a major. You may be more famous signed as a major, But you could be independent and figure out a way like selling your music to your own followers. And you may not be as famous, but you can make more money. So which one would you choose? That's what I would tell an independent artist. If you can run your followers up, if you got you 100,000 followers, 1,000,000 followers, man, you don't need no label. You can go straight to your platform and put your music out there and make you some bands, man. And you could do your own independent show. Once you blow up on social media, you can start doing your own shows, telling the club promoter, hey, give me 10,000, give me 5, and build from there. It's all a grind. And just keep building. You independently. That's the route I would take if I was an independent artist, man. Build your followers up and figure out a way to distribute the music directly from you to your followers. And build, man. And that's a good way I think that new artists can make money without signing these punk ass 360 deals because, man, Hermans are greedy, man. But I just wanted to talk about that, you know. And another thing, it's like everything going to subscription now. I think in the future, everything gonna be subscription. Your house, it ain't gonna be rent, it gonna be subscription. You got to pay this certain amount of money. Everything gonna be subscription. So you will never really own nothing. You would just be paying subscription for almost everything, man. And that's where everything is headed to. Subscription. Pay your $100 a month. Pay it. If you don't, you sign, you cut out. Everything finna go to subscription, man. I see that coming from way over here, you know. But it is what it is, man. I just want to talk about that, about these artists, man, these 360 deals, and why artists aren't satisfied when they get signed. Humans are greedy, man. So that's what it is, man. I just want to speak on that. If you made it this far in the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not. And as always, I'm coming back with more flavor. And it's all good. It's your boy, Mean Joe Green. Love. I'm about.